It all started with that book. I found a Crestwood Graduate Institute brochure between the pages of an old education guide. No one knew how it got there. The brochure looked 10 years old, but the university was newly established. Very strange. The website was very professional, with accreditation certificate. I started the program. Throughout the program, I constantly experienced déjà vu, as if I had taken these courses before. When doing assignments, my hands wrote automatically. When the diploma came, the date on it was 1 year earlier. My name is Carter Williams. I work as a director at Denver Public Library. I'm 33 years old. I've been in this position for 8 years. I love books. I love knowledge. I love helping people learn. But there was a ceiling in my career. To become a regional director, I needed a master's degree. MBA or graduate degree in library science. It's hard to study while working. I can't find time. Going to campus is impossible. I was researching online education options. I spent hours comparing programs on the internet, but none of them were exactly what I wanted. It was November 2023. We were doing cataloging work of old books in the library. I was reviewing old education guides from the reference section. It was a thick book from the late 1990s. Higher Education Guide was written on the cover. While flipping through the pages of the book, I noticed something strange. There was a thin brochure between pages 247 and 248. When I took it out, I was amazed. Crestwood Graduate Institute was written on it. Professional design, glossy paper, colorful images. It was very strange. How could this brochure be in such an old book? The book was 25 years old. The brochure looked very new. I asked other library employees Marissa and Stephen, "Have you ever seen this brochure?" "No, Carter. Such things aren't found in these old books." "Who could have put it there?" "I have no idea." Very strange indeed. I examined the brochure. It said Executive MBA Program for Working Professionals. Flexible online format. 18-month duration. Accredited institution. The most striking part was this. It said established 2020. But the brochure looked 10 years old. The paper was aged, the edges were yellowed. How could this be possible? At home I examined the brochure in detail. There was a website address. www.prestigedigitaaluniversiteit.edu. When I visited the site, I was very impressed. Professional design, university campus photos, student testimonials, faculty profiles. In the accreditation section, there were regional and national accreditation certificate, Middle States Commission on Higher Education, Distance Education Accrediting Commission. MBA program details were very attractive. 18-month duration. Online format. Weekend classes. Designed for working professionals. Graduates in Fortune 500 companies. Tuition fee was $25,000. Expensive but seemed reasonable. Faculty profiles were impressive. Dr. Patricia Morrison. Harvard Business School Ph.D. Dr. Robert Chin. MIT Sloan School graduate. Dr. Sarah Thompson. Stanford MBA. Student testimonials were very positive. Thanks to my Crestwood Graduate Institute MBA, I became a partner at a consulting firm. The program is very challenging but rewarding. My career was completely transformed. Online format is perfect for working professionals. Highly recommend. Admission requirements were simple. Bachelor's degree. 3 years work experience. GMAT wasn't required. Application process was done online. It seemed very practical, but the mysterious story of that brochure still occupied my mind. How had it gotten into that book? Who had put it there? Why had I come across it? It seemed like a sign of fate. Maybe it was time to get an MBA. I contacted the admission officer. A woman named Sarah Parker called me. "Carter, we received your application. Your profile is very impressive. Your library management experience is ideal for the program." Very simple, Carter. You'll upload documents. Academic committee will review. You'll get a decision within 1 week. Is there an interview? No, Carter. Your experience is sufficient. Direct admission is possible. This seemed too easy to me. Normally, MBA programs have interviews. I prepared the documents, transcripts, resume, personal statement, recommendation letters. I uploaded everything to the online portal. The admission decision came 3 days later. Congratulations, Carter! You have been accepted to our executive MBA program. This was very fast. Normal MBA programs take weeks for decisions. The enrollment process began. Financial aid coordinator Amanda Roberts called me. Carter, let's organize your tuition payment plan. You can pay the $25,000 in installments. How many installments? 5 installments. $5,000 every 4 months. This seemed reasonable. I made the first payment. I got student portal access. Username and password came. When I logged into the site, I saw a comprehensive dashboard. Course schedule, assignment portal, discussion forums, virtual library, student directory. My first course was Strategic Management Foundations. The professor was Dr. Patricia Morrison. When I watched the first video lecture, I experienced a strange feeling. As if I had seen this content before. It was like déjà vu. I felt like I recognized Dr. Morrison's voice. But I wasn't sure from where. Assignments also seemed familiar. Case study analysis, competitive strategy paper, market research project. While doing these assignments, I experienced very strange things. When I sat at the keyboard, my hands wrote automatically. As if answers came automatically. When doing Porter's 5 forces analysis, I set up a perfect framework. But I didn't remember learning this framework before. When doing financial analysis, I used complex formulas, but I couldn't understand where I knew these formulas from. In forum discussions, I interacted with other students. The names seemed familiar: Jennifer Martinez, Robert Taylor, Lisa Chen, Andrew Wilson. These names seemed like names I had heard before, but I couldn't remember where I heard them. We participated in online classes. There were video conference calls, but very strange. I could never see students' faces clearly. There were constant connection problems. Professors always gave recorded lectures too. Live interaction was very minimal. In the second semester, I took corporate finance course. Professor was Dr. Robert Chen. I experienced the same déjà vu feeling again. He taught complex financial models, net present value, internal rate of return, capital asset pricing model. These concepts seemed familiar. In the midterm exam, questions seemed like I knew them beforehand. I was writing answers automatically. These questions seem like questions I've seen before, I thought. But I wasn't sure. In the third semester, I chose specialization, nonprofit management. It was relevant to my library work. Dr. Sarah Thompson taught these courses. Fundraising strategies, volunteer management, community outreach. I was developing expertise in these topics, but I felt like this knowledge already existed. My capstone project was very successful. I did comprehensive research titled Digital Libraries in Community Development. While researching, I found incredible data sources, as if these sources were expecting me. The writing process went very smoothly. The 80-page thesis was completed in 2 weeks. Normally such projects take months. I completed graduation requirements. My GPA was 3.9. It had been a very successful program. Graduation ceremony was organized virtually. I participated in video conference. I celebrated with other graduates. The diploma came by mail. Beautiful certificate, embossed seal, official signatures. It looked very professional. But when examining the diploma, I noticed a strange detail. The date said December 2023. But I had completed the program in January 2024. This was very strange. How could it have a date 1 month earlier? I called customer service. Excuse me, the date on my diploma is incorrect. It should be January, not December. Sir, our records show December completion date. Probably a printing error. But I finished in January. Sir, the system automatically generates dates. There can't be an error. This explanation wasn't satisfying. But I didn't think it was important. I framed the diploma. I hung it in my office. I felt very proud. I added the MBA degree to my CV. I wrote, Executive MBA, Crestwood Graduate Institute, 2023. I applied for a regional director position. There was a regional director vacancy at Denver Public Library System. The interview went very well. Panel members were impressed with my MBA. Carter, Executive MBA degree is very valuable. Your management skills are developed. Your education background is ideal for this position. Crestwood Graduate Institute has a good reputation. Strong alumni network. I thought I would get the position. Qualifications were a perfect match. A week later I got a call from HR department. An HR specialist named Margaret Foster was speaking. Carter, there's a problem in the background verification process. What kind of problem, Margaret? We can't verify Crestwood Graduate Institute. The institution doesn't exist in accreditation records. What do you mean? I got a degree from there. Carter, we did a thorough investigation. This university isn't registered in official databases. This news was shocking. How could this be possible? Margaret, there must be a mistake. I attended an 18-month program. Carter, I'm very sorry, but this institution isn't legitimate. We have to withdraw the position offer. When I hung up the phone, I felt devastated. 18 months. $25,000. All effort had been wasted. I immediately started an investigation. I began researching the legitimacy of Crestwood Graduate Institute. I looked at the Federal Department of Education's database. Crestwood Graduate Institute wasn't on the accredited institutions list. I searched state education boards. Colorado, California, New York. There was no registration in any of them. I looked at complaints at Better Business Bureau. There were multiple complaints about Crestwood Graduate Institute. Fake degrees issuing. Non-accredited programs. Student fraud. Diploma mill operation. These complaints were shocking. Had I been caught by a diploma mill? I started consulting with consumer protection attorneys. I arranged a meeting with lawyer Elizabeth Patterson in Denver. Carter, this is a classic diploma mill case. There are thousands of victims. Elizabeth, can we take legal action? Absolutely. Interstate fraud, wire fraud, consumer deception. It's in the federal crime category. Are there other victims? Yes, Carter. We're organizing a class action lawsuit. There are already 200+ plaintiffs. Elizabeth told me stories of other victims. Sarah Wilson, nurse practitioner, paid $30,000 for MBA. Fraud was discovered in promotion application at hospital. Robert Martinez, engineering manager, $28,000 loss for executive degree. Caught in company background check. Jennifer Anderson, school principal, $32,000 for education leadership program. Exposed by school board. These stories were heartbreaking. Hundreds of professional careers had been affected. I joined the class action lawsuit. The legal team started a comprehensive investigation. FBI Financial Crimes Unit was assigned the case. Agent David Morrison was leading the investigation. Mr. Williams, this is an organized criminal operation. Multi-state diploma mill network. Agent Morrison, how does the operation work? Sophisticated system, Carter. Fake accreditation documents, phony faculty profiles, scripted curriculum content. Were the students real? Mixed, Carter. Some real victims. Some fictional identities. Very complex scheme. As the investigation expanded, shocking details emerged. Crestwood Graduate Institute was actually just one of 15 different fake universities. The crime syndicate operated multiple institutions. Faculty members were completely fictional. Dr. Patricia Morrison, Dr. Robert Chin, Dr. Sarah Thompson, none of them existed. Student testimonials were fabricated. Success stories were manufactured. Even campus photos were stolen. Unauthorized use from real universities. Most disturbing discovery: that mysterious brochure had been deliberately planted in the library. Carter, criminals target specific demographics: library directors, educators, public servants. You were specifically targeted. How did they target me? Social engineering, Carter. They do background research, then strategic placement of marketing materials. This revelation was terrifying. Someone had monitored me, researched me, then set a trap. Those déjà vu feelings, automatic answers, familiar content. It was all psychological manipulation. Carter, curriculum content was recycled material, compiled from previous scam victims' assignments. Is that why it seemed familiar? Exactly. Your brain was doing pattern recognition. Subconscious familiarity created illusion of expertise. The criminal trial began in spring 2025. Proceedings were held at Federal Court of Denver. Lead defendants: Marcus Rodriguez, 42, Operation Mastermind. Previous convictions: mail fraud, identity theft, money laundering. Jessica Turner, 38, Student Recruitment Coordinator. Expert social engineer. 15-year criminal history. Robert Chin, 35, Technology Specialist. Developed fake websites and systems. Patricia Williams, 41, Fake faculty content creator. Previous education fraud convictions. The trial lasted 6 weeks. Prosecution presented comprehensive evidence. Bank records showing $15 million fraud proceed. Email communications between conspirators. Fake document creation evidence. Victim testimony from 340 people across 25 states. Defense attorneys attempted various strategies. Clients tried to provide legitimate education services. Accreditation confusion was an honest mistake. Students received real education. But evidence was overwhelming. Jury gave guilty verdicts on all charges after 3 hours of deliberation. The sentencing hearing was emotional. Victim impact statements were very powerful. Sarah Wilson: my career was destroyed. I lost hospital trust. I experienced financial devastation. Robert Martinez: my family savings are gone. Professional reputation ruined. I developed depression. Jennifer Anderson: I had to resign from school board. 20-year career finished. My statement: Your Honor, this crime isn't just financial loss. They stole my professional identity. They violated my trust. I experienced systematic deception. Sentences were severe. Marcus Rodriguez: 12 years federal prison plus $5 million restitution. Jessica Turner: 8 years prison plus $3 million restitution. Robert Chin: 6 years prison plus $2 million restitution. Patricia Williams: 7 years prison plus $2.5 million restitution. Additional consequences. Victim Compensation Fund established. Permanent injunction against operating educational institutions. Civil lawsuit resolution was very satisfying. Class action settlement was $25 million. My compensation, $35,000. Fair amount for original investment plus damages. But most important outcome was awareness creation. Federal Trade Commission implemented new regulations for online education industry. Department of Education strengthened verification requirements. Consumer advocacy groups started education fraud prevention campaigns. I personally became involved in advocacy work. I do speaking engagements at libraries, professional associations, community organizations. Research online education carefully. Verify accreditation from independent sources. Be suspicious of too good to be true offers. I created a special program at Denver Public Library, Digital Literacy and Consumer Protection Workshop. We organize monthly sessions. We educate community members about online scams. The program has been very successful. High attendance, positive feedback. I eventually got the regional director position in summer 2025. I enrolled in a legitimate master's program at University of Colorado. The program is challenging but rewarding. Real education experience is very different from fake experience. Crestwood Graduate Institute criminals are currently serving sentences in federal prison. Operation was completely shut down. Websites removed. Fake social media accounts deleted, criminal network dismantled. But other operators are still active in this industry. Constant vigilance is required. My advice is clear. Research education investments thoroughly. Verify legitimate institutions. Recognize red flags. Most importantly, if something seems mysterious or too convenient, it's probably a scam. That mysterious brochure experience taught me that sometimes what appears to be fate is actually manipulation. Real opportunities require hard work, require time investment, require following legitimate processes. Shortcuts usually lead to trouble. Today, I serve as a successful regional director at Denver Public Library System. I have a real MBA degree from an accredited university. Most importantly, I became part of the solution to this problem. My advocacy work protects other potential victims. Justice was served in this case. Criminals were punished. Victims were compensated. But the fight continues. Education fraud industry constantly evolves. New tactics, new technologies, new victims. Community education, awareness campaigns, regulatory oversight. These are essential tools for prevention. Together, we can stop this type of exploitation.